Born in 1902 in the heart of Liverpool, Jefferson Dwight was raised by strict parents, with his younger sister. His father, proud founder of the Dwight Incorporation, wanted to bequeath his company as a legacy, but the young Jefferson was scared not to be worthy enough for such burden. As the years went by, this fear turned into a kind of anxiety of always succeeding in everything he would undertake, so he could prove his worth to his father. In front of the stress brought by this situation, Jefferson started to bite his nails and his lips, and he also went as far as inflicting bites on himself, a punishment that he thought necessary every time he couldn't meet his own expectations. On one side, he felt pain, but on the other, we could almost believe that he was taking a twisted pleasure in doing it. In addition, Jefferson, who when he was younger, liked to play and to be around other kids, seemed all of a sudden self-contained, and he even cut off all of his links with people, links that he qualified as distractions. That's how his childhood went by, until the day his father's health started to severely deteriorate, without anyone being capable of doing anything. He died from a terrible tuberculosis. After the death of his father, Jefferson was quickly put in charge of his company. But right when he was about to take his responsibilities, he preferred to run away to the eastern townships, where he would be the master of his own destiny. A few months later, while he was well established in his new life in Ayers Cliff, he met a lovely woman named Marie Beaupré, with whom he fell in love at first sight. They got married on April 17, 1929, and everything seemed to go well for the poor Jefferson, who thought that he had finally found true happiness, until the day when it all fell apart. On October 29, 1929, the Great Depression hit them. Soon after, no one came to the shoe shop anymore, where he had been working since his arrival in Canada, and the store had to be shut down in the following days. Without the money that Jefferson earned, the couple lost their only source of income. It's with a lot of efforts that they found a way to survive through that misery. However, on January 1930, a massive challenge stood up in front of them. Marie's caught a deadly pneumonia, and Jefferson, helpless, had to watch her slowly pass away. All because they didn't have enough money to pay the doctor. That tragedy changed him forever. It's at this very moment that he became crazy. It all started with the resumption of his old habits, and then everything derailed. He lost control of what he inflicted to himself, and came to tear parts of his own body to eat them. His craziness allowed him to forget his psychological pain. He started with the tips of his fingers, but it wasn't enough anymore. Therefore, he tried on other parts of his body, until he became unrecognizable because of the serious damage his body had suffered from. The pleasure provided was greater than when he was young, which pushed him even more to go past his limits. That situation remained the same for a couple of days, until the passage of a regional priest who, following the death of Marie's, wanted to offer his prayers and his support to Jefferson. Since the door was unlocked, he sneaked into the house where he found Jefferson in a horrific state. After he calmed down, he called the Dutswells Psychiatric Institute in the Eastern Townships. They brought Jefferson to the institute as fast as possible, where Dr. Robert Mason could take care of him. They thought they could stop his impulses, but his despair was too huge to be controlled and the will too strong to be stopped.
Voici maintenant l'équipe composée de Blanchette, Noémie Fortin, Amélie Percevault, Elisabeth Riou et, dans le rôle de Jefferson Dwight, Guillaume Brouard.
Thank you. RJ, how are you?
Yes. Wow. This is so gross. No, for real. I wish you guys could see. Can you guys see the detail in this face? It's really disgusting. I love the fact that you went to all the trouble to put these little tiny staples in around the patches of skin. I feel like he's going to try and bite me if I didn't know that his mouth was glued shut. The teeth are so cool, and so is this. Can you see the skin hanging there? It's kind of yucky. And the period clothing works really well with the whole thing, and I really like the whole creepy nature of it. I have to say, I was really when we were talking about it, I was thinking, I don't know that I get now. I see when you were talking about how the video works with everything. I get it now. It's so cool, and I think it's really frightening. Actually, I'm gonna probably have nightmares about him.
Donc, ce que RJ a beaucoup apprécié, c'est tous les petits détails au niveau de la peau, au niveau du visage, au niveau du personnage aussi, de l'histoire qui fait beaucoup de sens avec ce que vous avez fait. Donc, mais il dit maintenant, OK, je comprends maintenant où est-ce que vous vouliez aller. Donc, voyons, il y a l'aspect aussi dégoûtant du personnage qui est là, qui est très, 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 très bien représenté. Très, très, très bien. Eric?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to come in with my head hanging because I have a confession to make, guys. I was nervous for you guys, especially yesterday when we were seeing the prosthetics and stuff come out. But one of my favorite parts of doing this event is being proved wrong with a lot of teams, and you guys totally proved me wrong. And I'm so happy to say that because this thing looks so awesome on stage. Not only does he look awesome, and not only did this paint job bring out all these little details that you did in the face, one of my concerns was there wasn't enough on the face going on and you didn't sculpt deep enough in it. Just don't ever... Actually, you know what? Erase that. Erase what I said, because it totally worked. You guys saved it with this amazing paint job. The staples, sorry, I'm not going to get too close, I promise. The cheekbones that you sculpted to really make his eyes feel sunk in and also pressed out a lot of flesh here so that you could dig into the teeth and it felt like you were actually seeing into anatomy rather than having it just like sit on top. Right, little subtle things like the fingers, you know, him biting his fingers in the story, his finger missing, pieces of his flesh that are missing. That now makes sense. They're all self-inflicted. Also a really tragic story, and I have to say one that I kind of relate to a little too much, you know, like nervous tics and kind of like self-doubt and stuff. I think all artists kind of suffer from that.
Please don't start eating your fingers.
I won't. They've looked, they've never looked delicious to me, actually. So, but yeah, I love this thing. I think he's awesome. I'm so happy. Like I said, I'm so happy that y'all proved me wrong, and y'all should be super duper proud of yourselves.
You did a very, very good job.
Yeah, you were one of the comeback kids, and I loved it. So, fantastic job.
Yeah. Donc, Eric avait une confession à faire, c'est que pendant on regarde le travail des gens, on regarde un peu l'évolution des travaux, et honnêtement, Eric a dit je suis un peu inquiet pour cette équipe-là, je ne sais pas trop, puis ça. Puis il dit maintenant, il dit je suis vraiment désolé d'avoir pensé ça parce que vous avez fait un travail extraordinaire avec tous les détails, la paint job, le fait qu'il se croque le doigt et tout ça. C'est en même temps les vêtements d'époque, le look, la peinture qui maintenant sur le stage est vraiment extraordinaire. Donc c'est un peu une excuse que Eric a fait. You kind of excuse yourself to them.
Yes.
To have things that they are going wrong. Alors, c'est un très beau personnage d'époque et puis vous avez très bien représenté sa maladie. Extraordinaire. Bravo. Bravo, bravo.
Great job, guys.
Yes.